everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Nicole and I'm a part-time reseller on POSHMARK, and in today's video I'm going to talk about how I make most of my sales on the platform. These are going to be the ways that most of my sales are generated. Now it's not going to be all, but it's going to be the majority. So if you are interested in finding out what works for me and what helps me sell things, stick around. Make sure that you like this video so I know to make other content like this in the future, and also make sure that you're subscribed so you never miss a future video that I do here on this channel. So the first tip I'm going to talk about and how to, really make more sales on Poshmark and how I make a lot of my sales is to just send offers daily. It goes such a long way and it's just so simple, just send them out after you get a like on an item. You can send offer to likers throughout the day. You can send massive closet discounts through the My Shoppers and bundles. There's so many ways that you can send offers, but I just recommend doing it at least once a day going through, because that's going to really generate those sales. You never know who's going to be willing to accept your offer. I talked about the My Shoppers in that first tip, but utilizing the My Shoppers to its fullest potential. So adding those likes to bundles and sending bundle offers, commenting on bundles to let people know that you sent that offer or that you're running a sale, and maximizing those past buyers. So people that have shopped from you before that had a good experience, you want them to be able to come back to you. So you can send them a message saying, hey, I'm running a sale right now, or hey, I'm doing a live show. And this is just a great way to get a hold of people. And again, you could send out massive offers through the bundles, and it's just a great way to do it. So you don't have to go into each bundle. You could just send out the same percentage for every bundle. And again, this will generate so many sales that you wouldn't have been getting before doing this. So I really recommend using the My Shoppers. You should be opening the My Shoppers and using it almost every day, but at least once a week if you haven't used it yet. It will make a big difference for your sales. And offer to likers is also really important. I don't think this one is as important because I find that I'll send the offers another way. Like I'll have my VA send out offers, but offer to likers is great too if you want to just send a massive offer to a bunch of people that have liked a specific listing. Offers go a long way, and again, 66% of all sales on Poshmark are from offers, but I think a majority of my sales, I would say probably closer to like 80-90% of my sales are from offers. Again, maximize those offers. Another way that I make a lot of sales is just having good pricing, but then also sending good offers with that pricing. So you don't want to have like really insane high prices, because I find that when I go to a closet and I'm looking for something and I see a really, really high price, I kind of like don't want to buy, because I'm like, well, you're probably not going to reason with me. And so I just kind of avoid those closets. But I do think it's important to have good prices to begin with. So maybe you could even get someone that wants to purchase full price. But if they don't and you send a good offer, like I see people say, oh, I sent a 10% offer and no one bought anything. Well, because if your 10% offer wasn't really that good of an offer, like if it was already a pretty expensive item, 10% isn't really gonna get them to buy it. You need to offer like a better percent, whether that's 20, 25, or even 30% off. I sometimes even do more than that if I'm really trying to clear out an item. But again, you have to send good offers for people to be interested, but you also have to have good pricing. Otherwise, you're not going to be super competitive with the other sellers on the platform. Another way that I make a lot of sales is just by having good items. I find that the items that sell for the best price points, that are basically items that, I don't have to send an offer on, they sell full price or they sell for a really good price, are the items that people want. So just the other day I sold a leather jacket, and that is something that's on trend for the fall and something that people are looking for. But I find that those pieces that are not really like things that people are looking for, or not really like sought after pieces, are not going to sell as well. So I just recommend getting pieces that really people want and are going to focus on, and that will end up giving you more sales. And I also think having a bigger closet is essential. I've talked about this before, but I think this kind of goes overlooked. I think people forget about having a bigger closet and how important it is. But I think if you have a big closet, it really entices people to, one, bundle, but then two, they can find things for themselves or their family, and they just have better luck of finding things versus just having a small closet. And the more you list, the more likely you are to get more attention on your closet. And another way that I get a lot of sales is just by actually responding to comments or offers or anything like that. If you don't respond when a buyer is reaching out, whether they have a price that they're offering you or if they have a question for you, you're gonna miss out on the opportunity for that sale. Just the other day, I had something listed closer to 20, and someone asked me if I could do 8 on the listing. And while it was listed for a long time, 8 seemed a little low. So I met in the middle and I said, hey, I could do 10. That's the absolute lowest I could do. And she was willing to accept it. But if I had just said, no, I can't do 8 and I didn't come back with something, I would have lost the sale. And I was happy to clear the piece. So it's really simple to just, accept the offer and communicate with your potential buyers, and that will lead you to more sales. And I do think a lot of my sales come from me sharing my closet throughout the day, because it puts my items in these shared items feeds. It puts them on the top. So I think sharing is really important and makes a big difference. If I wasn't sharing my closet, I think it'd be really hard for people to find my listings and they wouldn't really be shown to people. So listing does go a long way, and you don't even think about it, but I find the more I list, the more likely I am to make sales. And also, relisting is also a great way to make more sales, and how I make a lot of sales, because you're getting rid of those stale listings. Listings become stale after 60 days on the platform. So if your item is stale, it's not getting shown to more people. And I find that when I relist an item, I suddenly get so many either likes on it, or I get people purchasing, or I get offers. And it's always within 24 to 48 hours of me listing that item. So I actually do get a lot of sales just from simply relisting, which seems so simple and basic, but hey, it generates the sales, so that's all that matters. And another way that I get a lot of sales is actually just running sales. So it's as simple as picking a weekend, or picking a week, or picking a month, and just saying, hey, I'm running a sale during this period. And again, you could clear out of a lot of things really fast if you do that, but I actually feel like it just gets attention to your closet, and then you get the momentum going, and then the algorithm is working in your favor, and it's just a win-win. So I really recommend running a sale every once in a while, especially when things are slow. It's really important to just pick up on that and go with a sale. It will get you making sales again. And finally, the way I make a lot of sales is just having pieces that are in season. So specifically, we're coming up on the holiday season, we're coming up, or it is already fall, but basically in this time frame, you want to make sure that you have a lot of fall pieces. You want to make sure you have a lot of winter and holiday pieces. People are looking for those. So if you list the items that people are looking for right before the season starts, you're going to make more sales from that, because people are going to be able to find things that they're looking for from your closet. And I did want to mention here, because a lot of people always say, oh, I should take down listings that are not in season, or I shouldn't list things that aren't in season. And I wanted to clarify, because I keep everything listed all year round, because I'll sell bathing suits in the middle of winter, I'll sell UGG boots in the middle of summer. So really just keep everything listed, but what I'm saying here is to make sure that you're focusing on listing those in-season pieces that people are looking for, because that's going to bring in the majority of your sales. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you learned something of how you can make more sales. A lot of these things I swear by, and a lot of these are the reasons why I make daily sales in my closet. So hopefully you learned something. And again, if you are not already subscribed, make sure that you are subscribed now, so you don't miss a future video that I do on this channel. And if you want to see another video on the new features that were released at POSHFest, maybe you missed those, you could click right here. And if you want to see another video on the clarifications on the Smart Sell feature and the misconceptions that people don't understand, you could click right here. But until next time, I will see you then.